recording is started, so you can see the preview, right, TBCR?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Can see the preview.
So I am Aperture Grills, and with me is TBCR, whose webcam unfortunately I can't capture. And this is a submission video for Marathon 2 Durandal 2-player co-op on Total Carnage, the hardest difficulty.
Oh,
So,
yes.
Yeah,
So,
I guess I will start the video.
This is going to be a fun hour, let me tell you. Alright, so we're in the lobby at the moment. Well, I'm particularly in the lobby. We're going to use two separate videos for this for particular reasons, but that's fine and dandy. Anyway, we start the game onto level 1, Waterloo Water Park. Now, we've already determined before we started who to do particular chips. I am doing 1, he's doing 2. 2 is closer to the exit, so I'm the guinea pig going in for the first chip. And I died already.
He also died. Yeah, this level had a slightly rough start. So
should we probably point out with the fact that normally I run kindergarten, but like this is the only thing.
Yeah, so I have completed this game in speedrun style, I guess. It's not very optimized yet on this difficulty by myself in an hour and a half, and this run is just under an hour, so playing in co-op cuts off a significant amount of time.
And I normally run kindergarten single player. I refuse to play this single player TC, but I'll play it co-op.
It's quite hard.
Yeah. The first two levels are pretty straightforward though, so there's not really much to talk about. I did pick
the second level is literally just running to the end.
Now I did pick up an AR on the previous level, so that's for this level and the next level to help out a bit. So Aperture's going to be going down, meanwhile I'm going to be heading to where he will be later.
Yeah, this is an exploration level, so there are certain parts of the map that you have to walk over before you can teleport out. So we divide up the work. I go to the far section of the map where TBCR goes and picks up some ammo and hits another few polygons.
There's 2 over there that I have to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Aperture heads into an underground section and hits the remaining 3rd polygon.
Yep, so that's it, and then TBCR goes to the exit.
And then we go into one of the worst levels in the game.
Yeah, this is one of the most frustrating levels. What about Bob? It's the first extermination level, which means that only 8 enemies can be left alive before you can teleport out. And the level is divided into 2 sections. First is a basement section where you fight through a long lava-filled basement and then hit 2 panels which flood the basement. So I was the one that went in first. My video's on the left.
Yes, and mine's on the right. We normally take turns on this, so after X amount of deaths, the other person goes in, because we both have assault rifles at this point.
I realize it's slightly confusing for my webcam to be next to your video feed, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. So I'm using the assault rifle down in the basement just to kind of... Okay, yeah, and I died, but so one very nice thing about co-op is that when you die, you can just respawn. You don't have to load a save and try again. So we use that ability to die a lot. You do lose most of the ammo you were carrying, though you drop the weapons that you were carrying. And the weapons that you drop always have full magazines or clips, and that comes in handy in a couple parts of the game. Yeah,
we do use that as a particular strat. Also, there's Death Warp in this, finally, so that's fine.
Yeah, we can, in situations where we have to go back to near the spawn point, we can Death Warp instead, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And actually, many marathon levels happen to take that form of, there's a terminal that tells you what to do, then you go do some stuff, and then you go back to that terminal and exit. So
And
I actually screwed this up. Um, yeah,
the
and
flag shame.
then fixed it. Tried to make sure that I wasn't gonna get killed. The
I think I
enemies,
had
the enemies. There's like a problem with this game's AI where when too many enemies have been activated, they start to overload because I think the engine doesn't update of what all of them should do every frame. So then I got killed there again. This was kind of a sloppy start.
yeah.
Then
Well, the
again,
great thing
I
about
should say this difficulty is quite well difficult to optimize.
this run, you can do horrible on the first half, but still have a very strong second half. So and luckily we did have a very somewhat strong second half. Now,
Yeah,
take a look at my side. I'm about to do
yeah.
some
So
funny stuff.
TBCR did some mad juking. He went and grabbed my stuff, and now he's going back the safe way, the way you're intended to do it, along these little bridges.
This was an intense clutch, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially so. I guess we should point out the
the physics are a
well,
bit floaty.
the lag. Oh wow,
Yeah.
that was extremely cool. Holy
Once
crap!
again, that clutch.
Wow. Yeah.
I
Skirting along
stayed through.
there without getting hit at all is really impressive. So that was the second panel that he needed to hit, and that drains the lava from the second section of the map and floods the basement with it. Um, and so now there's a bunch more enemies that have been revealed that we need to go make spawn and then kill before we can
And I
leave.
died.
So I am headed over to pick up an assault rifle. Another thing about co-op is that there's a lot of weapons and ammo placed on the maps that are marked as co-op only. So you get access to more weapons, which is really nice, especially because since sometimes we die and don't retrieve our stuff, we lose some weapons periodically. We can also
There are
lose them on accident.
there are particular levels that we cannot afford to lose our weapons in general. There's another like
Yeah,
3 levels total.
something like that.
But for at least the first half of the game, up until I'd say about 6K feet, that's not really an issue.
So I should mention that I just grenade jumped up to a secret area that um you're supposed to access in a different manner. And I was just doing that to pick up some more ammo for the assault rifle because there's lots of and pistol ammo actually. So there's
Oh,
lots of things that we need to kill.
we should talk about our allies in the game. I say allies with quotation marks
Yes.
because
So this level is called What About Bob? And it's the first level to really, have lots of Bobs that help you fight. And one of the ways that Total Carnage is harder than Kindergarten is that the way that Bobs get mad at you when you kill too many of them is changed. So you're much more likely to anger the Bobs, and the Bobs, unlike all of the alien enemies, have effectively hit scan weapons and have really good accuracy. So they can really pick you apart in a hurry if they do get mad at you, and they get mad at you very easily.
Bungie later went on to use that in Halo, by the way.
Oh, really? Is that
Yeah.
another way that Legendary is more difficult?
Well,
Or
after you shoot a certain number of civilians to go after you.
yeah, I just wonder. Okay, so you can see now that they're shooting at me and they killed me.
So yeah, there's another level in the second half of the game where this becomes a very big issue, and we'll probably
So
be griping about that later.
I don't think we mentioned the latency yet, but you can see on my screen in the corner next to the 30 FPS the latency of our connection. I live in Seattle and TBCR lives in North Carolina, so suffice to say the latency is rather long.
I
And
mean, it averages around 121 to 151 milliseconds, which isn't really that bad considering it's cross country.
yeah,
But
it's not so bad, but sometimes it gets up to like 300.
in an actual like GDQ environment, there would be little to no lag. I would say 50 milliseconds at the most.
Yeah, less than
50,
that,
75. So
probably less. But yeah, um, this is another level. Oh wow, this kind of didn't go well. This is another level that you have to go out and hit some switches and then come back to the beginning. but it's very short. So one of us just stays by the terminal and the other one does the things.
Literally risks it. This is also another level where Bobs can really mess up your run if they want. So there's only a single solitary panel we have to destroy in this level, and guess what? There's a bunch of Bobs and a bunch of four, which are the aliens, right next to that area. And I believe Aperture has a little bit of trouble on that. I cannot remember. I know you had trouble with a grenade.
Sorry, in which level?
In this level. You had trouble getting a 4 Hunter off the platform.
Oh, yeah. That was silly. There's
So,
no
yeah,
real reason for me to use the grenades to do this, but I try and get the hunter to fall off the platform, and instead I just kill him with grenades.
Because it makes it insanely easier to read the terminal, because anytime you're hit, you lose. If you're in a terminal, it kicks
Yeah, you're
you
bunked out of the terminal.
This becomes relevant for the very last level of the game.
Yeah, the very final terminal you need to read, it becomes relevant for. Though actually we do it a safer way to avoid having to do that.
Yeah, it's only really an issue on kindergarten, so.
Ex-Cathedra.
Anyway, Ex-Cathedra is a level that has, for the most part, is pretty tame. Only the ending part.
Ex-Cathedra? This level is pretty intense.
Well, last couple of times we played it's been pretty tame up until the very end.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of troopers on this level. I'm always a little scared when I'm playing this level on Total Carnage. Anyway, it involves normally it involves swimming through a long grotto in order to hit a switch, but we can skip all that with a hidden switch that's placed behind a secret door.
And as you can see, I went to go put a chip in.
Yeah, that allows you into the middle building of the level, and that's where you get a chip that you then go put in a socket under in an underwater grotto, another one, and then that opens the end of the level.
This level really demonstrates the physics of the Marathon engine, because as you saw, there was an enemy that Aperture hit with a grenade, and it went flying into the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the AR, the assault rifle that I'm using. Oh, right, and then I got killed by these guys trying to read the terminal.
You fucking died.
So, you saw some nice clutch earlier. You ready to see some even more beautiful clutch? Because, yet again, your buddy boy here, TBCR, comes in to save the day yet again.
I'm not sure.
I was terrified completely during this.
Nice.
You don't even see the text.
Huh? Yeah.
Anyway, Nuke and Pave is essentially a breakdown level. Considering that it's literally the exact same thing, or no matter what difficulty you play it on.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You really just run at the end.
The only way
there's one switch that you have to hit. As long as you have any weapon with any ammo that can hit a switch, then you're pretty much fine.
But yeah, the only time this level is a real issue was in ILs, because you have to be creative with the physics engine to actually beat the level.
Yeah.
Anyway, Curiouser and Curiouser is yet another roadblock in the wonderful Marathon 2 speedrun. This level can take forever if we're not careful, but luckily we figured out that, you know, who'd have thunk if you kill the enemies before doing the objective, it was faster.
Yep, I am correct 100%.
Well, maybe I thunk of that. Because, you know, I was focused on, you know, completing objective and then running to end. So if you notice throughout the run, I'm more of the guinea pig, flying myself straight into danger while Aperture kind of tackles enemies. I think it's just because of the mindsets that both of us are going into the game with.
Yeah, because I'm a lot more used to having to play this game on this difficulty solo, where, you know, you can't die.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to see if I can implement strats from kindergarten into AC. environment. Also, my monitor just went off for a second, so give me a second. Okay, there we go.
I got the second one. I got the second one.
At some points during this, it looks like a slideshow, and we apologize. So, as you can see, I picked up picked up my stuff
Need to heal before I
to
do
go finish. Now I'm essentially going back to refill my health because the next level, optimally, you need to make sure you have ×2 health going into it so you can complete the objectives without having to take a death. This will become relevant in just a moment
I haven't.
because we're about to head into the next level.
Yes. So this level we just finished involved basically hitting 3 circuit breakers that open 3 doors that lead to that end terminal. So again, another way we divide up work.
Okay, so this has a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm on an elevator. Aperture's going into a little secret room. That's not really secret.
Yeah, you have to open that room to beat the level. But I go in there and hit a switch which raises the platform that he was on. That saves us a cycle over single player.
Now I'm about to do some fun stuff and do a grenade jump to save a bit of time. Ooh.
Wow. I hadn't watched you do that before. That's a very interesting jump.
It actually saves more time than hitting the switch, so like, there's no
Right.
excuse.
Well, that
not
makes
to
sense.
do it.
That makes sense because your velocity is going to be higher than just running.
So, yeah.
Or swimming,
I'm
as
hitting
it were.
two switches, and I'm having to dodge enemies with projectiles that follow you.
Yes. All
It's
of
not
those fit. The big purple cloaked guys fire homing projectiles on this difficulty.
I did miss the jump back in and accidentally backed up.
Oh no! Don't go that way.
Oh,
Ah, you made it. Okay.
there we go.
So it was fine. Yeah. And then I just hit a switch through a wall, and you can see the lag was really getting bad.
Alright, Tim, I'm gonna go.
So this timing was perfect because you read the thing right as I finished getting 2x.
That is the fastest we've done that. We
Nice.
should do that.
Okay, so this level has a bit of a fun thing. So I'm doing the
I swear
you only
that's the
live
fastest
once
we've done.
method.
Wow,
of,
you really are.
just
Okay.
running straight forward into danger, and it worked. It worked.
I'm gonna go for the.
But I decided to go for the 1x because you do need a little bit of insurance, so to speak.
Oh, you know, I
into
actually
this.
did not realize that was there. I didn't realize that you weren't talking about the 1x charger.
No,
Wow.
the 1x
Cool.
can. I need to pick up the 2x can.
Very cool.
There's 3.
There's 3 cyborgs up here in the end of this hallway, and usually you have to actually deal with them. Occasionally their AI makes them wander off, and then you can get by, but that does not happen often. So then TV
And I
dies,
died again.
and I'm right behind him.
But it's fine that I died because we have a terminal right at the very start of the level that we can exit with.
When you hit the thing.
Because all the terminals in this
Tim, when you
level
hit the thing.
contain the same message, which
You died.
that's not really something really to bring up too much.
Yeah.
There's particular tags for terminals, and multiple terminals can share the exact same tag.
Yeah, so they can literally be the same terminal.
Anyway, Bob's Big Date. This is a level where we cannot afford to leave a assault rifle.
Yeah, because
Or
we
leave the
basically need the assault rifle for the next level.
The next level has a jump that literally makes or breaks the run. It's usually the run ender for any percent if we do miss it and die. It is especially a run ender on this
Hey, my
if you mess up even once.
And then I think that this hunter killed me. I was trying to make it to the 3x charger that's on this level because I want a lot of health coming into the level after this. Because like we said, there's a very important jump that we need to do, which saves... Geez, I mean, how much time do you think the 6k feet skip saves?
It would save
5 minutes at least?
9 minutes. 6 to 9.
hit one.
Because you have to go through that previously flooded lava area. 6 to 9 minutes, because there's tanks.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm slowly trying to take out some two enemies that are on the stairs that are really stubborn. It's really hard to get them off the stairs.
Yeah, those two enemies really will not go anywhere. You just have to kill them.
And as you can see, I'm on very sliver of
It's gonna
health.
take me a bit because I have a sliver of
Yeah.
health.
Ooh,
So I'm coming in behind him to help out. The last room of this level on TC is quite difficult because you are crammed into a small room that's full of stairs with a bunch of enemies. And there's a terminal that you can just read to finish the level, but usually they will
There's
kill
a
you before you
shotgun
do so,
for
so
if
you
don't
have to
mind.
deal with them.
haven't
I think
I
it took
been
us a
the,
little while on this playthrough,
Haven't I been the guinea pig for that for the last couple of
because I did
runs?
something really stupid there, the way that I played it, and then I think I came in here and died.
Yeah, you did. Because you're like, hold on, let me get my assault rifle. No, wait a minute. I did go in and pick it up.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I
that was
just
pretty
remembered.
dumb of me, to be honest.
So I'm gonna use the word clutch again. Get ready, buddy boys, because this is a pretty clutch.
Let me make it back to the end.
Oh. No, wait, never mind.
You're gonna get
I
that.
forgot they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me through the door.
Yeah, I would not call that all that clutch.
Well, I was clutching my heart because the hunter denied me.
Anyway, I think what ended up happening here is that I got into the room, grabbed my stuff, because there was only one enemy left and it only had, one shot worth of health. So this meant that I had to do
Since
the
I
jump
die on this
because
level, my weapons carry
TV,
over, right?
oh, I guess you spawned dead.
Yeah, I spawned dead. So when you spawn dead, you respawn with a
Alright,
full
I'm waiting at the jump for you.
scratch set, as I like to call it. So the
Yeah,
single
pistol,
3 clips,
three,
full
yeah,
health,
full 1x health.
and
I guess
full
we didn't
oxygen.
mention it, but you can have up to 3x health. I have 3 right now, which is purple, 2 is yellow, 1 is red.
Got it.
Which is how
And
much you spawn with.
That is still
another
fucking
thing
cool.
specifically for Total Carnage is that you can carry as much ammo as you can possibly find in the game. So
Yep. Whereas on the other difficulties, you have an ammo limit, which is quite lame. So this
Which-
level marks the beginning of the alien ship levels. We've gone on to an alien ship, which is infested with 4 the alien enemies in this game.
this is coincidentally the ship that we went to in the original marathon, but of course we're not talking about that. We're talking about Marathon 2. So
Yep.
we do revisit a particular area from that game though. In the next level. This level is not
Oh right,
fun.
I got killed again here, didn't I? This went really poorly, but it's fine. It didn't really cost that much time ultimately.
You see us occasionally make safety saves because this level in particular, if we die with our assault rifles in the little cliff area above, and it is possible, we cannot.
Okay, so
continue
then,
the game.
yeah, I finally cleared it out enough and was able to do this jump up here that saves a lot of time. You're supposed to wait for multiple very long bulkhead door openings to get through this level, but by jumping up to the upper area where you're only supposed to be fired down on from, you can skip a lot of the level.
And I'm assuming the developers intended that.
Yeah, I think they did.
If only we could ask Jason Jones.
I'm pretty sure they did intend for that to, I mean, because they give you the rocket launcher on this level, I think they intend for you to at least notice that you can blow yourself back up there with the rocket launcher. Because this map has low gravity.
In fact, I think a high majority of the alien ship levels have low gravity.
I believe all of them do. Even
Except
Requiem.
Except for the next one.
No, they all do.
Okay.
The next one does as well.
Anyway, so the next one is a revisit of the level For Your Eyes Only from Marathon 1, except we're starting from the opposite end of the map.
I say that he rejoins my stream.
And we're working our way back to the beginning.
Yep. There's also more stuff added to this version than there was in the level from the original game. So something that only spawns in co-op is an invincibility power-up, which I just picked up. It's under this damaging plasma, but of course it makes me invincible, and there's also a charger down there, so...
We use this for the next level because there's a chance that we would get horribly messed up during the next level.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a
right, and
safety
you
save
died.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had something to say, but I forgot what it was.
So then I make another safety save and exit the level. This level is very, very cramped, the one that we're about to start.
And if we die in any way, shape, or form, it is essentially reloading a save if for some
Yeah.
reason.
And it showed my point
This was before we found the power up, though, so.
That was pretty cool.
So,
There was one.
I'm going to
You know.
skip almost all of the level as you're intended to play it by jumping up here, and then to be kind of smart dealing with these enemies. But this is the end of the level. Normally you're supposed to fight your way through these hallways instead that are chock full of enemies.
So I'm just going to preface with the next level. The next level is going to have a bunch of death corpse, mainly by me. We figured out that, you know, why bother leaving a particular room when you can just die and restart.
Yep, so this level is Begging for Mercy makes me angry. It's definitely the most difficult level of the game to complete in a solo TC playthrough. And it's...
We make it laughably easy on TC
our
and
strat makes it not very hard. So basically, like I mentioned, when a weapon is dropped when you die, it has 1 clip worth of ammo. So in the case of the rocket launcher, it comes with 2 rockets, even if you've already run out of all the rockets on the level. So the goal of this level is to break 8 circuit panels that are opened by 8 switches, which are inside 8 rooms that are behind 8 doors. And they are all connected to this big donut-shaped, like double donut ring room. And so what I do is I just run around the ring, blowing stuff up with the rocket launcher and clearing a path for TB, who goes in and hits the switches.
And for the most part, the only rooms that will give me any major problems are the 3rd, the
7th?
4th, 3rd, 4th, 6th, the 5th maybe. The 7th hasn't really given me any problems, so yeah, just those particular rooms are the ones that you gotta really... The 3rd one in particular, because if you miss this, you have to do a sharp turn as soon as you hit the switch to activate the elevator that you just saw me hit.
Yeah, right.
miss
Otherwise
it,
you fall
it's
into the plasma and it's pretty much,
a big time loss right there.
Yeah.
This room you can get a good amount of time loss just because the enemies are shooting at you.
Yep,
As
so you can see me just kind of running around in circles, killing things as they repeatedly kill me. This works pretty well. And then he's just like, shoot a rocket into that door for me. Sure.
We're occasionally checking our maps because there's one particular terminal in the level.
Yeah, other than that, this room is perfectly symmetric, so it's really hard to tell which way you're facing unless you look at the map.
Of course, I've played this level so many times I can, for the most part, essentially remember which orientation.
Yep. Yeah, in the solo run, because you have to do it all yourself, there's an order that we just memorize, but for this, you know, TB has to know what he's doing, and I just kind of screw around.
Originally, I had a map up while doing this particular level, but, like, all you have to do is see where the terminal is, and then you're like, okay, well, this room's this way, and...
Okay, so then this is the 6th room, and I actually went in there and used the rocket launcher to clear some enemies out because it makes it a lot easier for TB to make it through.
Especially since it has what I like to call the big blue meanie, even though it's not really a big blue meanie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then I think I ended up getting killed and dropping my stuff in the lava, but at that time, TB had already pretty much dealt with all of the all of the rooms save one, so yeah, so this was the part
This
where
was-
I got stuck, but it doesn't matter because in the level after this we will lose all of our equipment and health. So
I should probably mention about this before the end of this level. So, if you're not in the floor of the inner circle, once you hit the 8th panel, it will not teleport you out. You have to be on the 8th. You have to be on the inner circle platform floor to finish the level. If you're on the outside, it won't teleport you, and if you're standing on any platforms, it will not teleport you. This is relevant because it actually, yep, see,
yep.
didn't teleport us out until then.
Alright, now
So,
it's the halftime.
Yeah, so you
water
want
break.
someone to be standing
Let me
on the
drink water.
floor of the room. Standing still too. If you're moving, it won't teleport you. So this is the big house. This in the plot of the game, we've just been captured, and so we lose all our stuff. And Bobs come in and kill all the enemies outside the window, and then you teleport out. So this is basically an auto-scroller. There's a fair amount of randomness to how good the Bobs are at killing the enemies, or more like how stupid the enemy AI is to not kill the Bobs before they die.
and this is our water break.
Pretty much, yeah. We have not much to
remember-
do during this.
Remember to drink water. You need it to survive. If you don't, you will not survive. Water.
Water right
Drink
here.
it. Tastes like water.
I'd like to take this opportunity to point out that Blue Glass or YSG once ran this game, or at least investigated tricks for it.
I'm pretty confident that they ran it because,
Hitting your keys constantly.
but we'll never know because.
Yeah, there's no published runs from it. Sad to say.
But Blue Glass is one of the big sources for at least the first and second game.
Mm-hmm.
for-
Right. So we want one person to spawn dead in this level because then they can respawn with full health rather than the sliver of health that you are given at the beginning of the previous level. This level can be really annoying on Total Carnage because it reintroduces troopers, the enemies that have basically an assault rifle, and we only have pistols. Pistols are not very good for dealing with troopers.
Okay, so I'm going to, at the moment, killing a bunch of Flecta, which are the kind of plant things. They're shooting, I think, poop at me.
Yeah, they're throwing. I mean, I guess it's mud. They're throwing them.
Could be, but I mean, why would mud make you lose health?
It's a good
Obviously
question.
poop. Obviously poop. But I'm doing a little technique here for a bit called rubber banding. So essentially, when you're running, you deal more damage. You know, just like everyone runs faster with a knife in their hand. So you know.
Yeah, punches delivered from a full sprint do about 10 times as much damage as a standing punch. So if you want to kill something with just your bare fists, it's way better to run at it and punch than to just
Especially
stand and
PC.
punch at it. You can, for most enemies in the game, you can just stand there and punch them, and it will interrupt their attack often enough that you'll be perfectly safe. It just takes forever.
I think it would be
Tanks
harder.
or the cyborgs are ones that is not really a good idea because they have less damage when they die. So
Yep.
Death plus infinity, all levels.
anyway, so what's coming up is a pretty
Even
bad
active
section.
state.
You see me in it currently, so there are
Yeah,
two
this
platforms.
room is really irritating. You have to stand on a invisible underwater platform and wait for it to rise up underneath you.
Oh god, I made it.
Okay.
Holy fuck, I made it.
We got the single
Oh, that was like a
No.
modified single skip.
and the triple. So what the triple is, there are 3 compilers that spawn in there, and if you manage to get through all 3 of them without getting hit or getting stopped, you have the triple.
Alright, get ready.
Which technically, I did a triple, even though technically it was a double,
Can I
but
go?
still,
Can I go? You literally gotta
it's a
get
little
one
fun
yes
little
level.
thing to try to go for during the run. The spawns are kind of inconsistent. though, so there's a chance you might not even get a single, despite doing the exact same movements.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's like a random time delay on triggered spawns. Sometimes they happen very quickly, and sometimes they take a second or two.
Anyway,
So
let's talk about this level because
yeah, so this level introduces it reintroduces an enemy called the Simulacrum, which are fake bobs made by the floor of the enemies that explode when they get close to you. So
on
this level
TC
is an extermination level. You have to kill all of the enemies, and most of them are disguised bobs. So they do massive amounts of damage, and they don't take very many hits to die. Actually, they're sort of
Now-
like the Flood in that respect.
Normally on Kindergarten, it takes 1 hit to kill them. It takes like 2 or 3 to kill them on Total Carnage, and I think regular bobs still take 1 hit to kill.
Except the tan ones, the officers, they take 2.
Okay. So yeah, that's a way you can find a bob because all the simulacrum bobs are dressed in green jumpsuits.
Yep. And they bleed
say
yellow, so if you shoot
they
them,
say
you'll notice.
They say the absolute dumbest things.
Yeah, including Frog Blast the Vent Core, which is a phrase you'll hear a lot when talking to Marathon nerds.
Or Halo nerds, because they do mention it in that at one point, I believe.
Ah, yeah.
It might have been Frag Blast the Vent Core, I can't remember.
Have you done the basement?
So then, this room that I went into in the basement spawns a ton of enemies, but they Bungie put in hidden panels in the walls that drop those huge crushers. So I'm just gonna run in, trigger them, and then hit both switches, and it crushes almost all of the enemies immediately, which is great because we have to kill them all.
I wanted to mention, did you know there was additional shotgun ammo in that room?
In which room?
In the
Oh,
room
over
with
on the sides?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it would have spawned in if you walked towards it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Anyway, so
I
we
forgot
didn't have
about
enough,
that, but I have
we
seen
didn't
it.
have enough enemy deaths, and I'm being a nuisance at this moment. Okay, there we go.
That was dumb. I think we had a miscommunication there.
Did you see that in the map? I was just dancing everywhere.
Because I was trying to open it because you were
Okay.
trying to close
Yeah,
it.
so oh, did we mention that this game has a feature where you can look through the viewpoint of your anyone else on your team?
Actually, we
Yeah,
So
you saw me
periodically
doing it
we've been
during-
looking at each other's views, and because we have a lot of latency, it looks kind of screwy. Like your view dances all over the place and stuff.
And the main reason is just because there's going to be particular sections in the run where one person just can't do anything,
Yep.
or they're waiting on someone else. I think this level is a good example.
It's just not fun.
So
Yeah.
Aperture has to go hit a switch that's way off into the distance.
Yeah, it's at the
meanwhile,
other
I get
end
to
of the
have-
map. Meanwhile, TBCR is going to hit one that's pretty close by, and then go back to the beginning, which is where we exit. I
first
should also
they
mention
pick
he's
up-
getting a hidden rocket launcher, which will be essential for a important jump on the next level.
Tonight.
Ah yes, the jump, the glorious blue glass jump. Named specifically because Blue Glass figured out that, you know, you can do a jump on the next level and you can skip having to walk across a very long catwalk.
Yes, it's quite nice.
We'll get to that. There are some stipulations with that jump, and it pertains to this level. So I have to pick up the rocket launcher. Me specifically, I'm the only one that does it in the run. And when I get ×2 health in the next level, I cannot lose any health, and I mean any health whatsoever, or I have to go and recharge.
So I got killed there because the game kind of lagged out on me, which was unfortunate. So now I have
But
to
this
respawn
level
and
is-
retrace my steps back to the far end of the map.
See, I'm worried with this part of the level because where you were, or where you are in particular at the moment in this,
Mhm.
there were the fake bombs in that little area too.
Yeah.
And you didn't spawn trigger any of them to go after you, which I think was pretty impressive. Anyway, I'm waiting at the terminal looking at Jason Jones's face.
Jason Jones's sad face.
Jason Jones plays Robert Blake, the science officer. And as you can see, he looks very solemn right now. Oh,
Yeah, he'll look much happier in a second once I hit my switch. And there.
Fact
There
for
you go.
people that didn't know, Jason Jones
Yeah, you got a
plays
very
the
brief
role of
clip
Robert
of
Blake.
him giving a thumbs up.
Anyway, it's now time to kill your television. Because the level is called Kill Your Television. As you saw, I hit a switch because I need to make a save on this. Because a pretty bad mess up can kind of doom us.
Yeah, it's definitely worth reloading your save if you mess this
Matters
up,
in the next
This
rather
is
than
another
playing it the
level.
slow way.
This is another level where it's an instant run killer. If you mess up the blue glass jump, like it's that
Which is why I'm
saves
gonna let
that
you
much
go.
time.
Ooh,
Compared also, did you see that grenade that just flew by me?
Yeah, I did. That was wild.
That scared the living Christ
So
out of
wait,
me.
you didn't end up saving?
yeah.
I didn't. I forgot.
I guess you
but
forgot.
like,
Had to have you lure that.
normally you would save there, but I think I was worried about that grenade almost hitting me. Also, that flick duck can hit you if you're not careful. Alright, so here's the blue glass jump.
Innovative feature.
Look at this crap.
Video games
Cool.
swimming up.
Yeah.
Do not steal.
Flying.
Yeah,
And
you really go
you-
flying up into that room that you need to be in.
And you keep momentum for about a good 2 seconds after the jump, so you gotta try to aim to not go too far into that room.
Yeah, because that can lose you some time again. The way momentum works in this game is very odd. It does not get immediately canceled when you're running into walls, so sometimes you can keep getting pushed against a wall for a while.
Oh man, thank you, awesome. I believe that's a resub actually. I think
People are notifying me on Discord, and I'm trying to tell them I can't talk to them. Anyway, we're heading into the final extermination level of the game, and thank goodness it's the final one because it's the one that gives us the most grief.
Yeah,
This is
this level really sucks to play.
the level is called Where the Twist Flops, and despite that title making no sense, it really describes this our experience with it.
It's more like Where the Run Flops.
Okay, this particular level I have a particular gripe with a particular Bob, which will
So
we'll
I
see
just
when
picked
you-
up this hidden invincibility. This time that one is in the single player as well, and it's quite useful because a lot of these enemies just blow up on contact, so you can use the invincibility to tank that and not have to kill them.
Now, the area where I am at, Aperture in particular calls them the pepperoni room.
Oh yes, because the texture on the walls kind of looks like giant pepperoni.
It gets very cramped very quickly, and it's very easy to die in. This particular cross room I'm heading into is a good example of...
Yeah, that cross room is very annoying because the enemies have good visibility to you and you have bad movement potential, so it's hard to avoid getting hit.
Okay, I'm trying to pick off these hunters. As long as I'm shooting them with the fusion pistol, they're not going to shoot at me.
Yeah, the fusion pistol also does double damage to some types of enemies, including the hunters. So it's
And when they
definitely
hard die-
useful to use it against them.
And when they hard die, they explode. So
Yep, it also makes them blow up, and so if there's multiple nearby, then the death of one can sometimes set off a chain reaction, which is quite nice.
So I took a death from a simulacrum Bob. Also, there was a Bob there that didn't do anything. Go
There's a
figure.
Bob here on my screen that does nothing as well.
Well, that's Robert. Is it blue?
It's
If it's
green, I
blue,
think.
it's Robert. The blue Bob. Okay, so there's a particular Bob in this level that's blue. It's the only one in the level that's blue. That's Robert Blake. If
So
you didn't know.
you can kill
Oh, he's dead.
Jason Jones
He's dead.
in this game.
Yeah, he's on the floor.
Wow.
That was a bit of a ramble. Anyway, the section I'm at can take a while.
Yeah.
Especially, if you're TBCR. Especially if you're TBCR. Okay.
Aha, you
Alright.
got shot in the back by that hunter that spawns into that room.
Except it already spawned, that was the thing.
So I escaped the basement. Now I'm headed back to help TBCR clean up the rest of the level.
No, we don't get the Tower Rep. Fucking Berserk is a
This can get a little repetitive with just the pistols, so I think at some point I managed to grab a fusion pistol and makes it a lot faster to kill these things.
fucking Berserk it. Anyway, I have a shotgun now. So now I can do some shotgun shots, and I died again.
Okay. For the current moment, there's not really too much to talk about. It's just, you know,
Yeah.
clear enemy, don't die. Oh, look, I died again. Okay, there is a ×2 recharger, but I don't think either of us used it, did we?
I think I used it.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Yeah, because
I
you
did
hadn't
pick up
cleared
a,
you hadn't cleared the room with it yet, so I
get
used
a
the fusion pistol to try and do that.
And I died again.
Sorry.
So, let's talk about the deaths, because it's kind of humorous. So, in a typical run that both of us do, I die between 43, which is the number of deaths I take in this run, and 130.
Yeah.
So, if you like hearing the death sound, you're gonna love this run.
Yeah, the death sound is pretty great in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
My sister finds it funny. She hates me playing this, but she loves that sound.
She enjoys listening to your runs get lost.
Yes.
are we done? Are you
I
trying to
can go check.
I've supportive family members, as you can tell.
Looks like nothing left.
Very. So right, we weren't quite
Um,
done here. Yeah, because
yeah,
we still
so-
had more hunters in the
Then
main
8
area.
enemies. So yeah,
Yeah.
just to mention again, 8 enemies is the maximum we can have for a level for extermination.
Did you exit it back to?
Fun fact: this is a callback to
Use an enemy. Try now.
what was
Oh,
it?
here they
Sorry to make it so. That level was actually a extermination level, but the flag wasn't set right, so
It's not so bad. Shopping
It'll
time.
be the fucking
wanted to point
fucking
that out. I
guinea pig
completely
versus
forgot
the
about it.
fucking little
Oh,
self
yeah.
This is called a
I'm really
shopping
glad
level.
that it's not.
Like
This is a shopping level, so Aperture is going to go shopping.
Yeah, there is this
Walmart.
giant hidden room full of sewage that has tons of weapons and ammo suspended in it, so and health. So I go and get all of that.
So
because
he's
I need a
going
rocket
shopping.
launcher to do some stuff at the end of the game.
So yeah, he's doing that jump
No, let's rephrase that. I'm
at the end of the game.
at 3 in the fucking
Meanwhile, I'm doing what I know best and running headfirst into danger, doing a death warp.
Alright, switch is hit.
Yeah, and then
now-
there's tons of enforcers guarding that first door, so you weren't even able to get out.
And then I'm going to go as soon as I get a chance, going into the shopping room, picking up what he did not pick up, and then continuing my merry way throughout the level.
Just go to the slow door.
So Aperture is heading into a particular area. There's a particular polygon that he's trying to avoid standing in. I believe you're at that part. Yeah, the polygon where that door that he opened. If you fire any weapon, it's going to spawn a bunch of enemies because it's based on sound. Me being the idiot that I am, and I'm going to say idiot that I am, I spawned them later on.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you clicked the trigger of a gun that had no ammo, right?
Which that makes perfect sense, you know.
Well, it's still a noise, you know.
Yeah, it's still noise, but it's still stupid.
I just realized how funny.
There's also a window in this level where you can accidentally fly out and it's impossible to get back in. I should know.
I'm in the shopping room.
I died a lot on that level. But
I'm using the flamethrower here to clear out these enemies, a weapon that we don't really use much in this game.
which is
Quite
a shame
effective for
because
a limited use case, because a lot of the enemies actually don't take damage from it. The hunters are the most notable.
well, actually, I used the flamethrower in the next level. To,
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of 4 enemies. The next level has one of my biggest gripes with the game. So this is Requiem.
Oh yeah, this
Cyborg.
is This is the
This
last
has-
last level to use this extremely garish color palette.
this has 5 switches that we have to hit. I'm heading into number 2. Aperture is dealing with 1, 3, 4, and 5. There's a reason I'm doing only 1, is because getting to that switch is a journey of itself.
Yeah, it's extremely
So-
annoying. So here he is at the elevator that goes to that switch. That elevator gets triggered by the enemies standing on it,
I don't
and
like the rules.
But
well,
what's the catch though? You can't
you
trigger
can't
it by
trigger it
walking
by
onto
standing
it.
on it. Yeah,
Well,
You have to hit a
who
switch to
pulls
activate
the
it.
rims
They can
Yep.
just
or
walk
cups?
into that polygon and activate it, and it is one of the most frustrating parts.
oh yeah, I
of the
got
run.
killed here by accident because I forgot about some enemies. It was stupid of me.
Uh-oh.
And then I dropped that stuff all the way down there.
God fucking damn it! There's that
My feed
fucking fifth
froze for a second. I thought my computer boosted again. But yeah, if there's a particular enemy in the room with the elevator, it's gonna trigger the elevator, and well, there's time loss right there.
Yeah.
So I hit my only switch in this level, and I'm slowly making myself.
So I used the
The,
rocket launcher there to kind of clear out some enemies from this basement section, and then it also pushed me up so that when I died, my body was in a more accessible location. So now I'm gonna fall down here once again. So there's some switches I need to hit before we can end the level. There's one of them, and the random shotgun spread made me not hit it. There's a second one and a third, and that's it.
Woo! Nice. 50 minutes.
So we're getting into the very end of the game. This is the third to last level.
this also has some very wonderful problems with it.
Yes.
So there are 3 phases to this level. I am doing phase 1, or I attempt to do phase 1.
Yeah, I think it kind of didn't go well.
Yeah, so there are multiple fake bobs that you have to avoid. We found that swimming in the water towards the door is the best effective method, but apparently that wasn't even effective enough because, oh look, I got hit again. And I think I get hit again on this part as well. Oh no.
Well,
I
then
didn't.
there's troopers here that probably killed you.
Yeah, there were troopers.
Or no, you avoided them.
Oh
You
wait,
must have died
it's-
later.
I think I actually survived this part.
Right at the end of the first hall.
Yeah, because we head into the last room. And there's a switch I have to hit. And I'm trying to line myself up so I can hit it while still being, for the most part, in the water so I can get out quicker. I didn't hit it.
Tell me if it opened.
Heading for it again.
Why don't you just shoot it?
Because that wasn't in my mind when I was doing this. Now it is.
Yeah.
Boom. And I think for the most part the enemies are dead.
The first
Yeah, because in this level we've actually revived the Svit Kur, which are a lost clan of aliens that...
It's the 11th clan. if I
Yeah, the
recall
11th
correctly.
clan of the Svit. Yes, that's the goal of the game, basically, is to wake them up. And
So
they now fight against the 4 and pretty much all of the...
I'm doing phase 2 as well.
That's your thing.
In kindergarten, you can hit that switch and then essentially go down and hit the switch again. I thought I was going to go back the way I came, but you know. In Total Carnage, there are supposed to be 3 fake mobs that spawn to try to, you know, wreck your stuff, but luckily only 1 spawned.
Yeah.
So now we're going to start the last half of this level, even though we're 2/3 of the way through it. This part has the chance of dying a lot on it. In fact, our last 3 attempts at this that went all the way to here had us dying a lot on this particular section.
Yeah, it
It's
can be
not
quite
fun.
frustrating. It's supposed to be a little water puzzle where you have this empty pool and there's 2 switches on the wall above it, and they switch the water between this and the next pool in the other room that you have to go through. Normally on kindergarten we can just kind of grenade hop over the whole thing and ignore it, but because there's so many enemies here, we have to do other stuff, and it can be quite annoying. I don't remember why I didn't just swim up and try and end the level here. I wasn't thinking clearly, and then I got hit by a simulacrum.
You had places to go, Bob's to fry.
And then I got killed, which was pretty rough.
But look at me. I'm going for it. And I use a different strat. Normally you're supposed to use the assault rifle, but since I don't have assault rifle, I'm using the shotgun.
You know, you can actually make those jumps without firing at all.
I know, but using it gives you a
Oh,
little
it
bit of
definitely
a
makes it
boost.
easier. So this is the penultimate level. This playing it as intended is annoying. However, we can kind of trivialize it with 2 rocket jumps.
Okay.
The first of
So
which I
here's the
think he
first
does
one.
right there. Yeah, wow, that was
I
quite
do
fast.
both of them, actually.
You didn't
do
actually, yeah, so TBCR in this run did both of them. You can see he's only at a sliver of health there.
And,
He needs to go get
this-
another... He needs to go get... Oh, I see, he died, but that doesn't really matter.
I'm trying to avoid the enemies. So this level is the only instance in the entire trilogy of Out of Bounds that might happen ideally in a run, and it does happen during this run.
Yeah, so you can see very briefly he flew through the floor.
So how the merit
hits that last polygon he needs to hit, and then this is the last level.
Let me explain real quick before we get to the meat of this level. So how Out of Bounds works is the engine doesn't know what to do with you out of bounds. So what it does is it tries to find the closest, highest platform to spit you out at. So it just spits me out at the front, at the top of the thing.
Yep, it basically just pushes him upwards until he's above the floor.
Now that can have a downside because if you shoot your rocket while you're out of bounds, you still take damage.
Yeah, it's as if you shot it directly in your face, in front of a wall.
I didn't know you hit that switch. So I'm taking out these 4 here. Luckily, they don't shoot anything towards you. The purple class only does
they're melee only.
attacks. The blue and orange are melee or ranged attack. If I recall correctly.
And then I died. So really, you did most of the important work on this level. So TB's doing another little grenade hover to get over this lava pool. And then he's at the far end of the level where you hit these 4 circuit panels that move lava from one section of the level to the other so that you can go to the end. And then I am at the beginning because I died and respawned, and I just go towards the end.
Now we're heading into the very last section.
Yep, this is pretty much the last section of the game. You have to fly over this long lava pool, very, very long.
Which I've made once. So Aperture is recharging. I'm heading up to the last area. So we're both tackling this. So there's a terminal and there's a switch that we have to hit. He's hitting the switch and I'm running towards the terminal. I'm having to mash quickly because if you take damage, you lose health.
And there, that's it.
And we're done. So as you can see, yeah, 30 deaths for him, 42 for me.
Yeah.
So about the average.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any closing words you'd like to say about this?
Well, I guess I should point out we didn't really have audio for this recording because we have the mic audio from when we were playing mixed into it. So I should point out this game has no music while you are playing. It's just ambient sound effect or ambient noise and the sound effects of, you know, enemies and shots firing. So it's kind of interesting from an aesthetic perspective. Certainly unusual for FPSs of the day.
But it immersions you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The Marathon 1 had these really sort of silly sounding QuickTime MIDI tracks. So
they ranged from Frolicking in the Woods to prog rock.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think this is cool to watch because co-op definitely makes the Total Carnage difficulty more completable and a little more consistent. And we get a lot of drama of us yelling at each other about what we're doing and whether we should go bail each other out. So it's a good time.
One of the main highlights of a Marathon 2 TC run.
Yeah, is me yelling at TB. And then TB yelling at me.
But mostly yelling at TP.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess that's about it, unless you have more you want to say.
I don't really have much to say, so.
So, yeah. Yep, that's Marathon 2 Durandal. It originally released in 1995 for the Mac. Made by Bungie,
Windows.
who would go on to make, Myth, and then Oni.
Absolutely. Oh, I was going to say
And
nothing of note, but.
Yeah, nothing of note. So, yep. I'm Aperture Girls. With me was TBCR. Thanks for watching.